And lastly, we review National 2 West, where there were excellent wins for Camborne, Hinckley and Exeter University respectively in the 3 matches that took place last week. And we'll start with Camborne, who faced off against second place Clifton in a highly anticipated top of the table clash at the recreation ground, where fullback Kyle Moyle starred for the league leaders as he steered Camborne to a 31-24 win. Now, the former Gloucester man kept the Cherry and Whites ticking over all afternoon, in particular when they found themselves 12-10 down in the first half following 2 yellow cards. But Steve Larkins' side came through that and came out on top in this battle with Clifton. Now, from a Clifton perspective, yes, their 11-match winning streak came to an end, but crucially, they were able to collect 2 bonus points from this contest, thanks to a 76th-minute try from Niall Gibbons. And it means the gap between the leading pair of Camborne and Clifton now sits at 6 points with 9 games to go. And don't forget, Camborne still need to go to Clifton at the start of April, so we should be in for a big end to the season in terms of the National 2 West title race. Just looking towards the other end of the table now, 11th placed Exeter University picked up a key 31-26 victory over Luttonians last week. Gareth Elliott's side made a flying start in more ways than one. Check out this finish from Isaiah Akpovwa as Exeter led 28-0 at half-time. A brilliant finish from the Exeter Uni winger. Lux did pull it back and only trailed by 5 points thanks to a late try from Caleb Montgomery. But in the end, Exeter University managed to hold out for a huge result in their season, and that win for Exeter University leaves them 7 points clear of the danger zone, and they play 13th place Macclesfield away from home at the end of this month, so that could also be a vital game in hand for the green and white. And at the top, confirmation that Camborne are now 6 points clear of Clifton, while Cinderford are up to third, but not in the way they would have liked to, because they lost 31-29 at home to Hinckley in a thrilling contest last time out. So the 2 bonus points Cinderford picked up gave them moved them up to third position, and they looked like they were going to win the game when Reece Borton knocked over a penalty on 75 minutes, only for Callum Dacey's late try to snatch it for Hinckley right at the death. And it was the Midlands outfit who took the W in this proper nip and tuck contest. And that win for Hinckley has lifted them to 9th place in the standings, and they're now 15 points clear of the bottom 2. 3 wins in their last 4 games for Hinckley, and they are actually our second feature club of the week on the National League Rugby preview show. They are starting to build consistency at just the right time in the season, and it could have been even better for the Midlands club, because it could have been 4 straight wins, but they were denied, weren't they, in round 17 really late on by title chasing Clifton. But nevertheless, things seem to be heading in a good direction again for Hinckley. And after playing Clifton and Cinderford, 2 of the current top 3 over the last fortnight, they are now preparing to welcome league leaders Camborne to Leicester Road on Saturday. So the challenges keep on coming for Hinckley. Now, Camborne have scored the most points in National 2 West this season, but Hinckley, in particular at home, aren't shy of scoring a few points themselves. On average this season, they've scored 34.5 points at Leicester Road so far this term. So we should be in for a really entertaining contest when Camborne meet Hinckley on Saturday afternoon. So to look ahead to this contest in round 18, we chatted to Hinckley head coach Emyr Lewis as well as chairman John Tilley. Let's start with you, Emyr, to begin with, and look back at the win last weekend against Cinderford. We've just highlighted it in our main show there, but it seems like it was one of, if not the best results of the season for Hinckley. Brilliant resolve shown from your team to come back and win it in the manner that you did.
Yeah, we in the past four weeks, We've been playing some good rugby, and we identified going away from home is something that we really need to improve on. We went to Clifton the week before. Obviously, as you well know, we lost on the death there, and we learned from those learnings, I guess, from those games. And we really wanted to go to Cinderfoot and put a stamp on the season. So, yeah, we were really resilient. Again, Cinderfoot came back at us in the last play of the game almost. But we managed to hold them out, and we grinded a good win out. So we identified areas in the Clifton game where we need to be better at. And the boys, although again still could improve on those various aspects, like I said, worked hard. And the biggest thing for me was like I think you mentioned, Chris, is the resilience they showed. We were leading fairly comfortable. Then we let Cinderfoot back in the game again. But to hold out for the win was really pleasing, and it just puts us into a good stead for the rest of the season, hopefully.
And John, it's making Hinckley one of the most entertaining teams to watch at the moment at National 2 West. I'm sure you might like it a little bit easier, though.
It's very good at home, scoring lots of tries, and I do like the character assessment that you just did. Yeah, we are showing much more resilience. Obviously, anyone that's seen our results over the season, we're flipped in and out a little bit, to say the least. But we have tightened up. Em's doing a great job now, and we're pushing on. We are one of the top try scorers at home, actually. Our points at home is, I think, we're only second to Camborne, so we can score.
Well, that's a great advert for this weekend's game. The two highest scorers in the league. You're going to be guaranteed entertainment at Leicester Road, aren't you?
Always guaranteed entertainment at Leicester Road, one way or another.
That's the way. Good way of putting it, John. Good way of putting it. And
on
just
and off the pitch.
On and off the pitch. And just kind of going to that point you made there, John, in terms of you flickered in and out of form this season, but 4 wins from the last 6. And I saw in kind of the match report after the Clifton game, I think whoever wrote it kind of said, this is unrecognisable from the start of the season. So you must be really pleased with the growth of the team and the work Em and the coaching staff have been putting in recently.
Yeah, brilliant. There's been a sea change since about December. A lot more responsibility taken by coaches and players, and that's led to results. And it's led to a much happier camp. And I think it's the spirit actually that is our key driver at the moment. It's really shining through from the boys and shining through into the club, which makes such a massive difference to everyone.
Just to add to that, Chris, I feel we started the season obviously not the way we wanted to. We were very confident going into the season, but come the end of November, we really had a good look at ourselves and gone, right, where can we improve? And we as a coaching group, we just got together and we've just pushed the boys harder. We've made training far more competitive. We challenged the boys. And like John just said, we've put a little bit more responsibility back onto the players, and a lot of them have stepped up. Boys you hope would lead one day are actually now stepping up and leading the boys really well. So it's really coming through.
We're still a scruffy side, what I call a scruffy side, Chris. So there's still lots of improvement to go. But I think sometimes that's to our advantage because no one can tell what we're doing.
It's the consistency we're after. It's the consistency in our performance we're after. Like I said, the last 3 games we played Loughborough just before Christmas and a really good win, solid win there. And then the last 3 games we've allowed teams to come back at us too easily, and that's a little bit of the inconsistency we find in our game. But that's a little side of it. The consistency now is growing, the confidence is growing. And hopefully we can keep kicking on. We've still got a lot of work ahead of us, a long way to go with the season, but we're in a good place.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And Emyr, just to stick with you a bit, I think you mentioned the word spirit in the team, or John might have mentioned it before. And looking at the team sheet, there are some familiar names to National League Rugby supporters in there. Your Mitch Lambs, your Callum Dacey's, but also this season we've seen the emergence of some young players. Your Riley Gilbert's getting important tries and stuff like that. Is that adding to this element of spirit and confidence that you mentioned there, Emyr, that everyone seems to be stepping up at just the right time, no matter whether it's their first season or, in Mitch's case, 200 150 appearances plus.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, what we have got, we've got a really good balance of young boys coming through, and like you said, your Mitch Lamb, Callum Dacey, and people like we mustn't forget Oscar Harper, who's a loose head stroke tight head prop. He played his first game at 18, and I think he told me the other day he's still only 25, and he's played over 160 games for the club. So we've got a really good balance, and boys wanting to play for the club makes a big difference as well. We've had Rory Vowles, again, shocked me the other day. Said he's 26 years of age and he's our captain. So, with him at 26 being our captain, leading the boys, and then Ollie B, who again is only 22 years of age, vice captain, we've really got a good balance.
I think the critical thing we have to remember about Hinckley is we're still a community club. We're still running 5 sides plus the ladies. We've got 4. So we've got the first, seconds, and the under-23s, which are all in leagues. And then we've got the Hunters, which is vets team. And then we've got the Colts. So we're still very community-based. And we still like to breed our own players massively. We classify ourselves as a development club. We find that really important. If people come through and go on, that's fantastic for us. If people come and stay, that's even better. And if we've got our own young lads in there as well, absolutely fantastic. The more young lads are getting the first team, the more people come and watch. So yeah, we still have ambitions. We've still got ambitions out this season. I mean, obviously there's a massive game on Saturday against Camborne, who without doubt the biggest, probably best side in the league. So that'll be a huge challenge for us. But hopefully we hold our heads up high and we meet that challenge.
As John said there, Chris, I think you can only take it one game at a time.
Absolutely.
In this league, like I said, lots of teams are fighting to stay up. Lots of teams are fighting. Well, I'm saying lots of teams. 2 or 3 teams are pushing for promotion. So it's one game at a time. And as we've found out over the last 2 weeks alone, you bounce of a ball doesn't go your way. You can lose a game. Bounce of a ball goes your way. You win a game. So the league is that tight. The league is literally that tight.
Yeah, and does kind of the confidence going on to the Camborne game in there, does the confidence kind of from the last 2 games in particular against 2 of the other top 3 sides, can that confidence, really bleed into this weekend's preparations for Camborne? Because the way you performed in those 2 games, yes, they're the league leaders, and John quite rightly mentions there, they are currently the best team in the league, but surely the last 2 games can give you a bit of a boost in training on Tuesday and Thursday this week.
Yeah, 100%, Chris. We're excited. We really are excited, and you're always excited when you're playing one of the top teams of the league. But we're even more excited in the way we've performed over the last couple of weeks as well. So they're going to come to us, and we're in a good place. I keep telling the boys. So fingers crossed. Like John said, we've top try scorers at home this year. So you could be well be in for an as a neutral anyway, a good exciting game. So fingers crossed.
Not very good for my art.
I know. Fingers crossed, but they'll we'll certainly give them a game on Saturday, no doubt about it.
And just finally to you guys, obviously, you've got Camborne this weekend, and I know Emyr, you said just before that you wanted to kind of focus on one game at a time. But looking at the fixtures between now and the end of March, I think after this weekend you play 4 teams who are below you in the standing. So how much would a positive result this week against Camborne act as an even bigger springboard going into the next block of fixtures for Hinckley?
Well, the answer is obvious there, isn't it? Really, if we get the win this Saturday, again, the confidence keeps growing. But I seriously meant it. We are currently taking a game at a time in this league, and then as you alluded to, okay, the 4 teams are below us, but the 4 teams are fighting for their lives as well. So Camborne's just as important, just as big as Devonport away or Bourneville at home. They are big games, and hence that's why we're taking a week at a time. As long as we keep the chairman happy, Chris, we're all happy.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah. Well, we can be happy this week, Chris, because obviously we've got the double header. So this week we've got the ladies are kicking off at 11:45, I think. And then we've got 3 other games at home. We've got a full house for dinner. We've got 320 sitting down for lunch. Many of them ladies, actually. So there'll be a load of other people coming down to watch as well. the ladies over the years, I think that they're approaching £40,000 have raised over the years for these when they do these dinners. So it's been going on quite a while, and you know, we keep the ladies' days one of the best attended days we have, to be fair, and we have 2 a year, and they keep coming. Hoping for about 700 there this weekend, and the internationals on as well. So watch beat France. How about that?
And watch Italy beat Wales. But
that's a bit harsh.
I think just on that, what John's just said, though, Chris, you know, that's Hinckley Rugby Club, isn't it? And that's, you know, this is why we're having these, you know, the players want to play for the club. You got all them teams out on a Saturday, you know, 3 or 4 at home alone. I think 2 are away, and then we've got these dinners at each home game, almost sold out most games. You know, I say to the boys, it's a proper rugby club.
So big thanks to Hinckley for their time this week. And as John mentioned, whilst Hinckley versus Camborne is set to be the headline act on Saturday, it is Ladies' Day down at Leicester Road, where the club raised money for Cancer Research UK. Now, a full house of 320 people will be sitting down to a pre-match lunch either side of the first ever double header at Leicester Road, with both the women's first 15 and the men's first 15 playing on Saturday. So all the details around Ladies' Day at Hinckley are on the club's Facebook and Instagram pages, but I believe the women's game kicks off at 10:45 a.m. with the men following suit at 3 p.m. And of course, all of that rugby action is followed by the Six Nations being shown in the clubhouse and an evening of music and entertainment as well. So if you would like to, you can actually spend your whole day at Leicester Road if you did feel that way inclined. But either way, it should be a brilliant day, both on and off the pitch at Hinckley Rugby Club. But what else have we got to look forward to in National 2 West in round 18? Well, we'll start with 2 clubs who are below Hinckley in the table, with Hornets travelling to Bourneville. Bourneville sit just 4 points clear of the bottom 2, having played a game more than Macclesfield, but their last home outing was that dramatic 50-43 win over Taunton in round 16. So those home supporters will be hoping for a similar outcome this weekend. We just touched on Macclesfield there. They are on the road at 3rd place Cinderford. Cinderford have lost the last 2 at home, so I want to put that right in round 18. Title candidates Clifton are back at Fortress Station Road as they host bottom of the table Devonport Services. For Devonport, they were once again competitive and in the contest in their last game against Cinderford, but fell to a 46-19 home loss, and this will be a tough task in Bristol for Ben Russell's men. A battle of the university sees Exeter host Loughborough Students. A big week for Exeter after playing the University of Bath at Sandy Park in Buck Super Rugby on Wednesday. But can they build on last week's National 2 West win over Luctonians when they face their old rivals on Saturday? Hinckley versus Camborne, we have shone a light on. Camborne unbeaten in 6, but given the displays Hinckley have put in against Clifton and Cinderford recently, the league leaders won't be underestimating the challenge in the Midlands. And informed Redruth travel to Mortimer Park to face Luctonians. Opportunity for Redruth to maybe go 5th if they are to extend their recent record of 1 defeat in their last 8 games. And last but not least, Old Redcliffians take on Taunton Titans at Scotland Lane. Taunton overwhelmed Old Reds in the reverse fixture back in round 6, scoring 9 tries in a 62-29 win. But Old Reds have more than enough quality to avenge that tough afternoon this weekend.